All right. Hey, Mr. Williams. Again, this is our training call tonight, and we're talking about a simple system. You know, we get calls all the time, people saying, hey, you know, what type of system you have in place? You know, and I see that a lot for people that are struggling. They're going through challenges trying to get a business started. It's something that you showed with me many years ago, having a simple system. It's all about a system, and so I want to let you start it off here so we can get into the presentation here, sir.
Well, good evening, guys. Thank you so much, Rodney. I'm excited, man. Things are really heating up with the group, still the fastest-growing group in the company, guys. And, yeah, we really want to get with everyone at the beginning to really, set the standard and to really put in place the systems that has helped us to get thousands of folks into organizations. And Rodney, I was, you and I had a great laugh yesterday. And this, it's funny, but it's, it kind of proves a point of what we're going to talk about tonight. I was telling you I had a gentleman who was not in my group who called and was asking about, man, I heard you guys are one of the fastest growing groups in Paycation. Man, give me the secret. And we like to play with people, Rodney, and just have a lot of fun. And I said, well, okay, since you asked me, we do have a secret. I'm going to tell you what it is, and go get a sheet of paper, because don't give this to anyone else. That's what I tell them, Rodney. Don't give this to anyone else, because we don't want this to get out, and we lose momentum because everyone else knows what we're really doing. And then I went on, guys, to go through this elaborate, ridiculous process of, how we build, which was fictitious and wasn't really real, but the gentleman was saying, okay, slow down, let me write it down. He went through this whole routine of writing this information down, this elaborate thing I was making up out of my head, just to prove a point that everybody's looking for a silver bullet, but there really is no silver bullet. There's basic fundamentals of building an organization and building it fast and building it strong that people simply just won't accept, because they think there must be something magical about it. Nothing magical about it. And so, I finally told the guy, look, I'm just playing with you. That's not, don't even think that there's some magical thing we're doing. We're working hard and consistent, and we're focusing. And we're doing the basics, just like, you do in athletics. The fundamentals are always the things that are going to keep you on top and keep you winning. And so, guys, people hate to hear it. They think that, we're going to talk about something incredibly different than you probably heard. But here's the thing: I know people don't do the things that you're seeing on this PowerPoint. I know most of you guys didn't, but I did, and I still do. And so the first thing we talk to people about is to make that list of names. Go through your Rolodex. And I was telling you, Rodney, and I think I was telling Carrie that I, my second, third week into the business, I went back and I pulled out my phone. And I made another list, and that list was a second list, and that list was about almost 40 people that I had not had on my first list. I always make a list, guys, because I understand. I don't want to get emotional about one or two people that I think that if I call, they're going to say yes, and we're going to be rocking and rolling, and they're going to make me rich. I'm not going to fool myself like this. I'm not like that. I'm not that good, and you're not that good. None of us are that good to be able to have a handful of people and put them on the phone, and then they take our career to the heights that we want to go. It's all about numbers, guys. There's no way around it. And right now we're talking about this earlier today. Rodney, we were talking about everyone has a list of 200 names. They do. That you have them in your wedding reception book. You have them in your phone. You have them in your college yearbook. There's tons of plethora. You have them on your Facebook. It's just a matter if you're willing, and this is where I'll toss it over to you, Rodney. If you're willing to open up your database and put yourself out there with a direct sale or network marketing opportunity to people that you know. And some of us have a huge chicken list. We know a lot of people, but we have 10 people on the list that we're not afraid to call, and we might think that we're a little bit better off than they are, and so we recruit down. But there's hundreds of people that you know, and it's all about you jotting everyone on that list, and then go from there. Rodney, would you not agree?
Yep. Oh, I agree with that, Floyd. It's about making a list. I don't care if you get involved in any business. It's a list, because your list, guys, is your inventory. Every store have a products on the shelves, right? Every business have a product that they have. Why do the company need us? Because of the list, right?
Yep.
They want the list.
Right.
They want your brand. You know, and think about it, we say the ABCs. I love this, right? The ABCs, you know, the ABCs, right? What does that mean? That means always be calling somebody. You know,
I love
always
that. Ooh,
calling someone.
say it again, please. Say that again.
Yeah, always be calling somebody. You know,
Sounds
that's
like
so
you sound like
important,
me.
yeah, well, that's true. You know, I mean, from the business cards you pick up at Walmart or at the local grocery store. You know, if you want to call someone, send them a text message. You know, we got systems in place to help you in order to do that. You know, you know what makes this so easy, because we're doing all the heavy lifting for you. All you're doing is making a list, open up your database and say, hey, here's my database. What should I do with them? Call in your upline, call the leaders, and let us help you work with that list, because really the money is in the list and the follow-up. That's the most important thing. Before I was talking with James Roberts today, right? Mm-hmm. And we was talking about a gentleman that we had called. And I was calling him, and he said, I was in that company before. I said, great, that's great. He said, and I think my partner, he's there also, because I called his partner name, right? He said, I got to give him a call. I said, no, you don't have to give him a call. I said, because he didn't understand to give you a call when it was time. And I gave him an example. I said, my partner, Floyd Williams, he called me over and over and over again. It was the point he was angry at me. I was angry at him, right? I said, guess what? James Robert, I called James Robert 2 or 3 times, but I didn't give up on him. Why? Because he was my friend. I wanted him to see this opportunity, and James was so glad I did, just like I was glad that Floyd shared it with me. Like, over you, Floyd.
And Rodney, I think we probably got that call for me, more times than not, and I still had to get enough courage, even though I've called you many times before for other opportunities, and you said no to some, you said yes to others. But it really is all about me getting enough confidence to make the call, even though you might reject me, right?
Yeah, absolutely, Floyd. Absolutely. You know, and so that's something we was talking about today. We said, well, how do we get people to have our confidence in order to be able to do those things? It's something that we've been doing over the years, for reading, a motivation, something positive, building the confidence up, saying affirmations or reading our Bible. Those things we have to do to get the confidence up. Because, Floyd, that's where a lot of people are at right now. They don't have the confidence to believe that they have something special here. And if they get the confidence, guess what? They can take this to a completely different level,
That's it. And we stopped in our discussion about, we talked about what is it that really gets people stuck. And we were trying to put ourselves in the average person's shoes, not the Rodney Epps' shoes, who's the number 3 or 4 recruiter in this company, but the average person. It's really about it really came down, guys, to confidence and belief. That's all. That's the only thing that we could determine that was different from a Rodney Epps and someone else who hasn't recruited anyone. It's just really confidence. I love what you said, Rodney. I love this acronym here that I'm going to always use. It's the ABCs. Always be calling. Always be calling somebody. That is
always
huge.
Calling somebody, someone.
someone. And so every day that Rodney, we start our day. Rodney we'll check in. We tag team. We're team members, and we are accountability partners too. Because I can't sit there and talk to Rodney every day, and Rodney's putting all these folks in this opportunity, and I don't have anything to share with him. I just cannot accept that. So he pushes me and I push him. But guys, when he talks about always be calling someone, that's all we do all day. I have to go and do what I do for my clients, for my traditional business. But in between, in the car, guys, getting ready to get dressed, I'm dialing a number in my phone, calling someone. It only takes a minute, and you've got to push yourself to get out of your comfort zone and do the ABC. Always be calling someone, because in the course of a day, Rodney is always calling someone. James is always calling someone. Carrie is always calling someone. Every day I call Carrie to see what's going on. She says, I just got off the phone with XYZ. I'm getting ready to call someone. That is the difference, guys. And what drives us to do that is that we believe that we've got something special here. We believe that if we put the effort in, we will get incredible results. And our belief has gone through the roof because, to be honest with you, Rodney, I know what your check was, and you know what my check was. So that's called a belief check, guys. And when you get that first bit of success, it is the proof. It is a proof of concept that if you just continue to do what you were doing, you're going to get more of what you got. And so if you haven't done anything, there's nothing to, there's no evidence. So you got to start calling people and start calling people on a regular basis. Rodney, what about the next thing?
Well, Floyd, something. Once they call them, now they need to qualify. You just can't put anybody into your business. Think about this. Right? You have a boardroom, Floyd, and I say, Floyd, you need three people that you want to take to the top with you. Floyd, you won't put anybody in your business, and there's something I learned from you over the years. But you don't know until you ask them also. So, you want to qualify people. They qualify them. Do they have a need to make some extra money? Do they have a need to take a vacation? Do they need for freedom to spend time with their kids? You want to qualify them. Floyd, how do you qualify people? First of all, let me tell you how I qualify people. I do many ways. You heard me talk to a lady earlier today, and I didn't tell her nothing about the business whatsoever. I was trying to qualify. First, I went, hey, do you have some time to talk? I was qualifying her. She said, well, no, I have 5 minutes. Now think about this, Lord. People call their friends and say, I want to talk with you about something. And their friends say, well, okay, no problem. Then they start talking with them. They say, I got to go. Now they feel crushed, like something happened. Well, first of all, you didn't qualify them with the time. Maybe they were on their way out of the door. Maybe they were on their way to take care of the kid. And now you hurt and you're upset and you want to quit the business because they say they have to go. So when Marsha said, Rodney, no, I only got about 5 minutes. And I said, great, what you doing? I'm at work now. I qualified her. I said, tell you what, when is the best time we can talk tomorrow? So tell you what, can you call me 10 o'clock tomorrow? I qualified her for time, right? So when I talk with her tomorrow, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to qualify her for the opportunity. Hey, Marsha, something, you down there in Florida, are you still taking vacations like you used to? Are y'all still interested in taking vacation? Or maybe, Marsha, if you can make a little bit of extra money taking a vacation, will you be interested in investigating stuff for the next 20, 27, 30 minutes? I'm going to qualify her. And here's the thing. No one tell you they don't want to take a vacation, right? I heard a guy tell me that day, by the way. I got to keep that back there. But I didn't believe it, though. I'm going to tell you the truth. I didn't believe that, right? You can qualify them for income, but we want to qualify them for something, right? Flo, how do you go about qualifying people?
Well, absolutely. There's two ways you can approach this, this opportunity, guys. You can lead with the, with the product of folks being able to travel, like an insider wholesale, or you can lead with the opportunity. And Rodney, and I know you and I both agree that we like to lead with the opportunity because, guys, people like to travel, but there are a whole lot of people out there who they need extra income right now. There is almost an epidemic of people who need income to pay, the bridge the gap between what they used to make and what they earn currently now. And so I would always say, like you said, Rodney, hey, if I could show you the way to travel and take excursions and vacations for pennies on the dollar and make money while you're doing that, would you give me about 15 minutes of your time to show you how I'm doing that, how I am doing that? And so that's all, guys. I don't do a whole lot of elaborate, talk. That's a good way to qualify a person to see where their heads is. Don't beat around the bush. Go straight to that first. And qualify that person. Now, what you've done is you found out if they like travel, and you found out if they are in the market to make extra income at the same time simultaneously. And now you can go ahead and you can direct them. No more talking, but direct them to the third party documentation or the evidence that will give them all the information they need to make the right decision. Now, we don't care if they say yes or no. We want them to say yes or no as quickly as possible and then go to the next person. But, yeah, we qualify those people that way, guys. And if I'm talking to, if I've got a list of people and I'm really, going after a person, some winners leading with the product, then I'm looking for people who meet the qualifications of someone who can be impactful in my organization, who can make that 3x7 matrix sizzle. And it's usually people who have enthusiasm, they have an open mind. Rodney he's open-minded about business because he's a business-minded person. They have an open mind. They are self-starters. Meaning if you present something to them and it's something that is effective, they will go ahead and take the reins. They will go ahead and do extraordinary well with it because they usually do that with anything they do. And so I'm looking for people who are leaders, guys, people who are leaders in whatever they do. And here's the number one thing. I'm looking for people with large circles of influence. Now, that's huge, guys. And, Rodney and I were just saying, we're baffled that a person could not get involved in this can get involved in this business and can't assemble a handful of people to talk to, and out of those handful of people, get 3 people to not only endorse what they do, but to join them. That is evidence. That's evidence that you have a circle of influence if you can achieve that. We know that from the beginning. We know the people that we're getting ready to call normally in the warm market. We know if they have circle of influence, if they're leaders, if they're starters, or if they're quitters, if they quit everything before they get started, if they're not, passionate about life and excited about, the possibilities of what life has to offer and what opportunities can be if they put their whole heart into it. And so we have to think about that before we make that call. What are you calling for? Am I calling for a team member and a partner to help me soar in this business and we all become successful, or am I calling for another member, for someone who's just going to enjoy the membership and enjoy the travel excursions and just be a member even though they got in the business, because that will happen too. And so it's okay either way, but you got to just know what you're looking for. And if we're trying to build a huge team, we want to have more of those people who are builders than we do have those people who are just going to be sitting on the genealogy. Rodney, back over to you.
Absolutely, Florida. I had a guy I was talking with about 3 or 4 days ago, and literally, this guy didn't have the confidence. He was scared. He said, I just don't know. I said, well, give me the list, and call your friends, and this is what you need to tell your friends. Tell, hey, Mr. Epps is going to call, and he's going to talk about the business, and I don't know if it's going to work or not, but you just listen, and I know you're not going to do it. Just listen to him, please. And he gave me the numbers. I called the guy, and I said, hey, my name is Rodney. I was calling for, my friend. He asked me to share this business with you, and he already gave me an idea that you wasn't going to do it no way. But I really appreciate you being nice to him. How long have you known him? The guy. So I've known him for all my life. He's a stand-up guy. He's a quality guy. And I said, have you ever known him to get any type of illegal activities? He said, huh? I said, have you ever known him to get any type of illegal activities at all? He said, no. So he's not a person that does illegal stuff. He said, yeah, I know that. I said, okay, I just want to make sure. I'm still learning him, and he seemed like a nice guy to me. I said, but he wanted me to share something with you, and I just wanted to give you 20, 25, 30 minutes, and you tell me, give me your honest opinion about it. I said, are you from the computer? So he said, yes. And so I gave him the website to go to, right? I said, now, go to register, and you're going to let us know when you go through the whole process. And when you finish, I'm going to give you 2 gifts for him. And we already know the answer up front, and it's all right with us. So guess what happened? The guy go to the system, you look at it, and the guy sign up in the business. And you know what he said? He said, I don't know what he was talking about. I like making money. There's an opportunity. And the guy was blown away. And he said, I don't understand. I said, guess what? You did what you're supposed to do. You made your list, right? You gave me that list was only one person, but you made your list, right? We qualified him with time. We qualified him. Did he want to make any extra money? Then we pointed to the system. Guess what? It was a 3-way. He was out of the 3-way, but we did the 3-way, just me and him. The other guy was on the phone, and the guy signed up in the business, Lord. It was just a simple thing, using a system. For really our biggest challenge in this business was that we really didn't have a system in order to grow with. Imagine, look what we did without a system. Now we have a system, and this system do all the heavy lifting for them. So now when we're doing the 3-way with someone, we can easily say, hey, what do you like best about what you're seeing? And could you share with us why a system is important in building an organization?
Well, we want the system. We want a system, but like I said, this is we're running a business, and we're running a company, and we're running an organization that could be in the thousands and tens and hundreds of thousands. It's a sales team, guys, and every major company, every major corporation can't function without a system. And so we're creating a duplicatable system, though, and so it's grassroots, a system that a person can adopt and get started with. Immediately after you get started with them, they can turn around and do exactly what you did for someone else. And so if we do that, guys, that means that anybody from a judge, as the phrase goes, from a judge to a janitor can duplicate. This business is all about duplication. It's all about me getting someone started today, and they can go home and they can duplicate what you did to them to get them started. And so that's why we got to make sure that when we do these trainings, we don't get all elaborate and sophisticated with it. It's something that everyone can do. And I like what you were talking about, the list, Rodney. Sometimes, guys, we've got to make sure that we understand why we recruit. I want you guys to hear this, and this is what the big boys always talk about in network marketing. The guys who are making the big money. The only reason why you recruit someone, there's only one reason, and that is to get behind the hundreds of people that they know. Never forget that. And so Rodney just said something profound again. That worst case scenario, if I can't get a person to cooperate and to participate in the system of making their list and qualifying and then contacting and inviting like they're supposed to, and then getting their leader on the phone with that prospect in a three-way, then the default system is how about just give me the list, okay? Because remember, the purpose for you to sponsor someone is to be able to bring that person on and get behind the hundreds of people that they know, and to keep and expanding that your prospect list, okay? And so getting that list is the last resort when a person simply can't catch on or can't get it working. Just ask for the list, and that's why we ask people to make the list, because at the worst case scenario, that individual is going to turn that list over, and then we're going to work that list, myself and another team partner who might be above me, who have vested interest, and work that list, and then we will. It won't be as good, it won't be as effective, but if we get just a couple people out there, Rodney, then what we do is, let's say we get 3 people from that list. Now we've gotten 3 people, and we've got 3 people who have 100 people that they know behind them. Maybe they will cooperate. Maybe they will be more successful. Maybe they will have more influence. And now we're back in our warm market again, because we always want to stay. We get in our cold market. That means that we start talking to people we don't know to recruit a person to get into their warm market. We don't want to ever stay in the warm market. We want to keep recruiting in the warm market. And when we feel like we've run out of people to talk to, we only go out, talk to someone we don't know to get into the market that they know. Rodney, back to you.
So something that is so true. Something we used to do in training back when I was living in Atlanta. We would talk about if someone gave you a solution, a cure to something, gave you something that can change a person's life for the better, all right? And who would you take it to? And it is amazing people would take it to a complete stranger, right? Then take it to someone they really care about, someone they see every single day. And what that tells me, Flo, that they really don't believe in the system. They don't really believe in the program. Maybe they don't believe in themselves. But I know something. They have to find a way in order to believe in themselves. And that's why that personal development, reading a good book, at least 3 or 4 pages of a good book every single day. Because if you don't believe in yourself, you don't believe in the system, you will never be successful regardless. And guys, let me tell you, I've been there. I know how it feels not to feel successful. I couldn't amount to anything. And Floyd just allowed me to share this with them. I worked, when I moved to Atlanta, Georgia, I was just a straight-out country bunkling. I mean, just didn't know what I was able to survive. And many times I told my wife, we may have to go back home to Ocala, because I don't think we're going to be able to make it here. Because everyone, when they see me coming, they say, "There's a fool, he's coming." And they would take me for everything that I had. I mean, I said, man, I just can't deal with this anymore. But my self-esteem was down, and I remember working for it in the restroom as a ballet boy. People would come in there, and I would give them the paper towel, and I would give them the peppermint. I would turn the water on for them, and I would give them the paper towel. And I would do that night after night after night. But I had a very good memory when it come to remembering their name. And I wanted to be successful. I remember a Florida guy, he threw money in the toilet. You heard the story before. He throw the money in the toilet, and guess what? I go in the toilet to get the money out. It was a $20 bill, but he had did number 2, as the kids would say. And one of the guys said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm going to get my tip. It's $20. This I get paid." The guy said, "You don't have to do that." And so I remember this guy going to his car, leaving, and he came back and gave me a book, and that book was The Magic of Thinking Big. And, of course, he turned me on. We became friends over the years. He turned me on to Think and Grow Rich. And for those books, I began to read and begin to develop the self-esteem that I needed in order to be successful in life. Now, did it happen overnight, Flo? No, it didn't happen overnight. But and I remember you telling me, stay plugged into the system. Say, get on the training calls. Get on the training calls. Get on the webinars and look. Look at. Come to see the meetings for yourself, and you begin to believe. Boy, something happened. When I kept coming to TPN meetings week after week after week after week, I began to believe. But guess what? I still didn't sponsor trust anyone. But I knew I hung around people who were successful. I seen the Floyd Williams. I seen the Darnell Seth. I seen all these guys that have been successful. I said, if they can be successful, I can be successful. But so I realized that it was a system. It was easy. And Floyd, this is so true right here. How many times we jumped in a car traveling all the way to Chicago or traveling to a meeting? Why? Because they had a special training. And they said they're going to release a special system that when you listen to it, you're going to get rich. But it was just a simple 3 or 5 step system in order to grow your business. So, guys, develop the confidence and understand the system is only here to help you out. It does all the heavy lifting for you. Back over to you, Floyd.
That's it. And so one of the biggest things that we do all day, every day, guys, is 3-way phone calls. Guys, I have not sponsored one person without doing a 3-way phone call. Not one. And I've been in this industry for 20 years. Know all the facts about, the travel piece, and that's where we make most of our money. But I have not yet. I've done 3-ways with Donald Bradley upline. I've done 3-ways with Rodney Epps sideline. I've done 3-ways with Kerry Sitberry, my downline team. It doesn't matter, guys. People need to hear from someone other than you. I quickly will give the phone and pass the phone to someone else for third-party documentation, because I know that person might have heard from me, 15 different times over the 15 years that I've known them in different companies. And so it's not about how many times you talk with them about a certain thing. It really isn't. It's really about your belief and your conviction, and then passing the phone to someone else, or passing the torch to someone else who can give them another perspective and show them another piece of documentation that's not you. If we get that down, guys, you will recruit as many people as Rodney has done, because it's really never about how many companies you've been with. And we keep hearing that people will always say, well, I don't want to call this person because I've done so many things. Join the club. Join the club, guys. Everyone has done so many things in this company. Everybody's had 10 jobs and 15 opportunities they've done, because that's just how the world is these days, right?
Hey, that's true, Floyd. Hey, Floyd, you don't hear no one saying that, well, I'm not going back to get another job anymore because I done had 8 of them already, and I'm just not going to do that thing anymore. And see how long you last in this world that we live in, because we have to have a job. And I look at it like this, Floyd, man, if I have an opportunity in order to own my own life while I'm on this planet, I'm going to do it, and guess what? And we ought to know from the professionals, the gurus out in the industry, they say you don't have that true wealth until you are in business for yourself. And keep in mind, there are tax benefits from it also. So I agree with you, Floyd, when you said that. Floyd, let's do an example of a 3-way, Floyd. How would you do a 3-way? I call you and say, Mr. Williams, that person, first of all, I come to you, Mr. Williams, the person I've seen the live webinar. And I'm going to send a text message. I'm going to call you and say, Mr. Williams, do you have time for a webinar? A 3-way with a good friend of mine. And Mr. Williams say, yes, I do. Or may call me within 10, 15 minutes. And I call Mr. Williams with my prospect on the phone. And I'm going to edify Floyd Williams. I'm going to say, sir, listen to this very carefully. My partner, he's been in the industry for a while. He understands how to build an organization. He understands how to make money. He understands everything that we need to know about this business. And he's just going to share a few things with you. Okay? And I'm going to 3-way him into Floyd and say, Mr. Williams, this is my friend by the name of Tom. And Tom has seen the webinar, and he liked what he's seen. He said on the scale of 1 to 10, he's at a 7, Yeah. And Tom, and this is my partner, Mr. Williams, who is teaching me and mentoring me with the business. Floyd, Tom, Floyd.
Well, that's great. And one thing, Rodney has done there, he's already prepared the gentleman. The person has been on the webinar. He's seen the information. We have a point of reference. Guys, you kill yourself or you kill your opportunity when you put people on the phone with someone who has not seen anything, or someone who's negative. I've heard people call me, Rodney, and say, well, I want you to do a 3-way with me with a guy named Fred. Now, I've talked with him, and he said he didn't have any time to do anything else. He's really busy, and he doesn't really like to travel that much. But I just think that if you talk with him, I think we can get him to see that this will be a great opportunity, because I think he would do this. Now, that's a 3-way that I'm not going to do, guys, because, you've told me, you gave me 5 reasons why we shouldn't be on the phone with the person, and you want me to work magic. And that's why people are disappointed, because that's not set up right. You've already qualified that person, and you dequalified them or disqualified them already. You just hadn't admitted it. And so what Rodney just said is he said he talked to the person, he sent the person to the website. They like what they saw. They're very excited about it. They have a few questions. We can do incredible things from that point. So they'll call. and then I'll be on the phone. The first thing I'll do is edify Rodney back. He edified me, and I'm edifying him back. I'm letting the gentleman know that I respect Rodney. I know that he's going to be successful in what he's doing, and I'm looking forward to working with him. And he's in good hands in working with Rodney before I even have any conversation about the opportunity. And then I'll edify the gentleman just slightly and say, well, Rodney said great things about you. I know if if it weren't true, we wouldn't be on the call today. What I want to do is, kind of fill some questions, but I don't want to rehash everything that you've seen, Mr. Johnson or whatever his name is. But what I'm going to do is just ask you, I'll ask you simply, what do you like best about what you saw? Now that's really where you got to stay, guys, because you don't want to go out there and get caught up in a bunch of questions you can't answer. But he can't tell me anything negative because I've always asked him what he liked, and we're gonna pin down and pinpoint where we need to stay right there at the beginning. And so they'll probably say, I like to travel. I like the whole discount rate on travel thing. Well, great. That's the best part about it. Can I answer any questions about the travel? When he said he liked to travel, I'm going to stay there. If he says, well, I like the comp plan, I like to make money, that's the great thing about it. Is there any questions about the comp plan? And then when he does that, then we'll answer all the questions about the comp plan. I say, John or Mr. Smith or whoever he is, based on what you've heard, is there any? Do you see an opportunity for yourself? Yes or no? Yes, I do, but I got a couple of questions. What are those questions? We'll pin those down if we can on the phone. If we need to send them back to more documentation, we'll send them back to more documentation. Maybe go back to the website, look at the comp plan, print it off, give it to him. But we're going to answer and we're going to resolve all the issues he has to keep them that's keeping him from getting started. And then I'm going to ask him, based on what you saw, you see an opportunity? Yes. Great. Well, let's go ahead and get you started. All we need to do is find out where you want your checks to come from, and what name you want your website in. Close them. That's what you have here. Sign them up, Rodney. And then that's not gonna work like that all the time. Sometimes they're gonna be hemming and hawing and saying, let me look at the website or let me go to another meeting or something. But we want to push them through the steps as fast as possible, and we want them to come out of the funnel a yes or a no, and go next. And then we want to start, right, as you said, let's step and repeat. Let's start it all over again. Would you not agree?
Absolutely, Floyd. Guys, it's really that simple. Those 5 things we do to build a business. There's no magic formula, and here's the thing about it, Floyd. People will pay $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 in order just to learn these 5 simple steps. That's all it really is. Number 1, you make a list, and remember always to be calling somebody. From a business card, from an ad, they give thanks to them. If anybody that you meet, friends, share with them about the business. But they qualify them. Maybe, when a friend calls you and they have problems, they talk about the finance challenges, the car, to get repossession, the kids got to go to college. There's simple thing you can say, do you wish to do something about it? What they going to tell you? No. If they just told you that, the kids going to get kicked out of college or you're going to lose their car, you say, do you want to do something about that? They're going to say yes. They're going to say yes, right? So, give them something to say yes to. Point to the system. We have a system in place. It's a 24/7 system. They can watch the webinar 24/7, midnight, morning, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. It doesn't make a difference. All they need to go to www.broke, more.com. That's broke-no, all right, more, more.com. Go there and you begin to understand what the webinar is. I mean, matter of fact, that's a generic webinar for the team. We have one for the team, but you can get one customized if you have one for yourself. Do your 3-way call. Once they reviewed it, do your 3-way call. You're right. Hey, basically what you see, what you like about it. And you know what they're going to say, Floyd? Yeah, I got a question about something there. Great. Tell you what, let me get someone on the phone who can answer that question for you with no obligation whatsoever. Then guess what? Like Floyd says, sign them up. But use the systems in order to help you grow the business. Before I turn over you to close it out, sir.
Well, Rodney, I'm going to turn it over to you because I've got someone who's calling in for a 3-way in about 2 minutes. But, guys, it's been great, and we've got the system down. We're running. We're moving. We are the fastest-growing team in this company, and it's not going to ever stop. We want to make sure that we get more top income earners than any other organization as fast as we possibly can. Rodney, over to you. You can close this out, buddy.
Outstanding. Hey, guys, we really appreciate you. This webinar, this live webinar will be available. It's been recorded, so we can pass it on to your team. You can go over it. Just master the 5 basic things in order to grow your business. We really appreciate you guys. We really, truly want you guys to be successful in the business. because you deserve it more than anything, because you believe that you was able to get into the business, so we want you to grow your business also. So have a great and blessed day, everyone. Bye-bye.